Good morning on this January 3rd, 2016. This video was made a little earlier today, currently 10:20 a.m. Eastern Time. This video will once again focus on the overall pattern, taking a look at a couple key features as things start to evolve, more energy entering the country, and better temperature gradients developing as things progress through time. So let's take a look at the current state of the 500 millibar pattern. This is the spaghetti plot once again from the European ensemble. So we still have this strong ridge over Western Canada, and then you have this trough carved out over the eastern U.S. And this is going to this trough is going to strengthen as it goes eastward and further south. So let's fast forward that here. So the first Arctic wave of the season for New England area. As you can see, this trough is really starting to carve itself out very nicely. So all the cold air, Canada can get driven on southward. A couple cool days in northeast. Let's take a look at the 50 millibar temperatures, which really do crash. So currently about negative 8 or 9 or so. So right now we are in a cooler pattern, but things really cool off substantially. Here we are Monday afternoon, 850 millibar temperatures falling to about negative 15 across much of New England. You can bet snow squalls for northern New England especially, as this Arctic front moves through. No real big storm that spawns off the coast with this. It is fast moving. The southern stream is fairly far off to the south. I have the European operational model up today. Take a closer look at a few key features. Yes, for the most part, things remain unfazed until they get well offshore. So that does not affect us whatsoever, at least in the short term. Alright, so moving ahead, this ridge starts to break down a little bit, which reports well, in a sense, this ridge moves further. Yeah, so it does break down a bit. Same time, this trough is moving offshore, so there really isn't a quick resurge of cold air entering the country. It'll take a bit of time. So we do have this brief warm pattern. Once this brief shot of Arctic air moves through New England. So for sure, we can take a look at the 850 millibar temperatures, and they do warm up significantly above 0 Celsius, supporting high temperatures above average. Alright, moving ahead. Just gonna stop it right here real quickly. Note the spread and ensemble solutions. This makes me very worried. Moving ahead, this is where your uncertainty lies, and anything downstream of this definitely complicated. So either there's a lot of solutions, really anywhere from going down to this. Even the mean solution has a trough over the western U.S., and even in a couple solutions here have this more of a ridgy look to things. There's a bit of a ridge bubble over Alaska, though. We can keep moving. There's definitely some. Let me move on to the European operation. This is the 500 millibar Vorticity chart here. And it's clear that there are a couple areas of energy moving onshore. So this is the first one, and then there's another one behind it. I think the one behind it might be more exciting. But here we go. So the energy comes onshore. Meanwhile, most of the country is very in a warm pattern, at least briefly. Um, Things are very unfazed, as you can see. Like this area is really not connected at all with these areas. So they come onshore, they weaken, and they remain fairly weak. So about the same time frame here. Okay, so you're starting to see some of these close low ideas starting to pop up. Of course, the location of these, it's pretty spread out. Still a lot of uncertainty as to the amplitude of this ridge over Western Canada. Some solutions still having a fairly wide trough carved out in the west. Otherwise, eastern U.S. is in a warm time. Moving forward. So it looks like so you definitely see this up level low starting to form. You have this ridge over the eastern U.S., so it looks like your main storm track is going to be right through the Great Lakes. So this first storm right here, we're currently January 8th. It doesn't really look too promising for winter weather in the Boston area. Just not enough cold air. Briefly take a look at the 850 millibar temperatures. Shows the same story. Cold air, not really well placed. Taking a look at the thicknesses real quickly. This piece I mentioned yesterday, not as impressive today. Okay, so here's a storm starting to come up through the country, and it looks like the core of the cold kind of focuses over in this region. So this block idea is kind of not as impressive today, which allows the storm to take a further west track. Yesterday there's a better, faster transition to the coastline today that's a bit slower. Again, a lot of uncertainty upstream, which will have downstream consequences. Moving forward, so that closed low eventually opens back up as it moves eastward. Looks like it eventually will bring a rainstorm or some sort of storm to the east coast. And behind that, it looks like some colder air does make it into the country. Perhaps, okay, let's not get too far ahead. So we have this piece of energy moving northeastward, and then you have another piece of energy behind it. So an active pattern for sure. So that piece of energy, this piece of energy, it's fairly weak, not phased whatsoever. Moves northeastward, and then you have this area of concern, which looks a lot more impressive than this once was. To the south, it looks like it may tap some Gulf of Mexico moisture as it travels across. And you have cold air entering the country at the same time. This is where things start to become really interesting. You have anomalous moisture energy over the eastern U.S. Meanwhile, cold air surging southward. This is a really good setup for a potential winter event. And here you go. You have a nice, although it's unfazed, but you have this negative tilt trough over the coastal mid-Atlantic waters here. So a quick coastal storm development could occur here. On the reminder, this is the operational model. So, here's the ensemble mean solution, which does also have a storm off the coast. Here's your 540 line. Looking those details. I mentioned yesterday that this second storm idea would probably be cold enough for snow. Judging by 850 millibar temperatures, that would probably be snow as the storm track is further eastward. Once again, I think this first storm will kind of lay the tracks for the second piece right here. Remember though, this will remain unfazed, so whatever may happen will probably be moving fairly fast. So that would limit the impact of that. And then we get further and further. We have very strong piece of energy diving southward. This is towards the end of the run. So you have this piece of energy diving southward, while you have this very cold air mass driving southward as well. So there's a bit of phasing that might happen, although it might happen just too late on this run. Compare this to the pressure. This is the European operational. So you have this interesting low pressure coming up the coast. On this individual model run, a little too warm, probably a mixed event for Boston, but way too far out, and this is just one solution of many. That moves out, and then you have another area, low pressure, forming right behind it. It's very cold, although the storm track is suppressed further south, so it's hard to tell what this may do to New England, but something to watch. So I think so you have two storms to watch, perhaps around the 11th to 12th period, and then maybe again 12 and 13. Very cold air will will be available for both of those storms, especially the second storm. We can just pour this out. So this is for the fourth storm, and then the second storm, much colder temperatures. A fluff storm perhaps, but that's getting way too far ahead. Again, just focusing on the overall pattern is important. This is the spaghetti plot once again. So that first storm, the warmer storm moving by, kind of setting the stage and allowing this big trough to be carved out over much of the country. Nice looking ridge in the west, although there is some spread in the solutions. And then continuing to move forward, very cold, very, very cold. Then we'll have to see what happens afterwards. So yeah. Just figuring out some final thoughts here. So next couple of days features a brief Arctic shot of air into New England, followed by a brief warm-up, and then you have storms entering the country. The first of which will likely ride to the west, bringing us a warm storm, although that leaves the ground for two other storms following behind it, potentially much colder air following with them, potential snow with them. And then after that, things really start to get out of hand, pretty whack, so not really concerned with that right now. Mainly concerned with the evolution of the storms that will enter the country over the next week. It'll be important to nail down the eventual placement of the polar jet, which right now seems to be all over the place. I'm sure that'll be worked out fairly soon. So the couple storms advertised for the next week, hold on for now on the critical details until you start to see less of these solutions being offered. And yeah, I think that'll do for this video.